I started recording YouTube videos a while ago. I think what about 2 years since my first video. It has been a dream of mine for a couple of years to start making videos I like on YouTube, probably like 4 or 5 years. And this has led to some tech regrets during that journey. So I wanted to take a moment to talk about some of those. So I started this channel with a Fifine K688. It is a USB XLR combo microphone that I immediately started in XLR using the Fifine Ampligain SC3. So the Ampligain SC3 has since gotten like an upgraded version that you can get on YouTube for a lot more money, but it is an entry level audio interface. And then I started with the Logitech C920. That is the industry standard for webcams. Like if you walk in an office and they buy you a webcam, it's probably a C920. It's cheap, but it's decent quality for the price. I upgraded to the Logitech StreamCam for better video quality, and there were a couple of things I didn't like about it, specifically how wide the video was. I think it was a little bit too skinny, and I had to zoom it in when I would edit the video. I upgraded the K688 a few times, going through way too many microphones until I landed on my current Elgato Wave DX. I upgraded my camera again to the Logitech MX Brio, which I enjoyed more than the StreamCam. I'm just now realizing I've owned 3 back-to-back Logitech webcams, which is a bit odd, but Logitech is kind of known for their webcams. I upgraded my interface to the Elgato XLR, and then I upgraded my camera again to the Sony ZV-E10, which was a huge jump in quality from the webcam videos. I changed my interface again to the Vocaster 1, which I have enjoyed so far. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. I switched to different lights multiple times and learned my lesson from buying cheap ones that didn't illuminate anything. I have bought a lot of like RGB lights for background lights and stuff, which I don't use even, but all of them were too cheap and they didn't light up my face or anything like that. They would only be good as like accent lights. So let's break this down a little bit. The most important thing on YouTube is audio. I understand it is a video platform, but if your video sounds bad, people are going to click off of it. I should have spent more time improving on audio processing and editing skills instead of repeatedly upgrading my microphone, trying to fix the problem. I have recorded awful audio with great microphones. I still have issues and I have a pretty good microphone. I wish I had stuck with a microphone like the K688 or just started with a better microphone instead of going through a lot of different options. I tried the Fifine K699D, which is a dynamic microphone that they sell for like $30, I think. The Zoom ZDM1, which is a $50 microphone that I actually really love, but it has kind of bad handling noise. The Rode PodMic, which I would probably still be using if the microphone wasn't so heavy and started to weigh down my microphone arm. The Movo HMM2, which I wouldn't recommend. I think that's a handheld microphone that just doesn't sound very good. And the Shure SM48, which is a handheld Shure microphone, which sounds pretty good, kind of has some bad handling noise, but honestly, solid microphone. Before landing on this current microphone, I could have stuck with the Blue Yeti Nano that I used to use for my gaming PC before I started making YouTube videos. I'm writing a video right now on microphones that different streamers and YouTubers use, and a couple of the biggest streamers still use a Blue Yeti. So, I mean, I don't think I necessarily had to upgrade from the Yeti Nano, although I do like these other microphones a lot more. I should have started with a USB microphone or just started with a good audio interface. If I had known I would spend almost $300 on audio interfaces and would have saved some money by not buying as many microphones, I would have just bought a Rodecaster Duo. It's a microphone interface that I've always kind of wanted. I have the Rodecaster Pro 2 for podcasts that I am a part of, and I love it. Like, it is a very good audio interface. Since I have started using that, I've been curious about the Duo. I've been curious about the Rode X, but I've heard kind of bad things about it. And I don't want to use an interface as big as the Pro 2 for streaming and solo videos. I will say the Duo is still pretty big. I think it's going to be bigger than the Vocaster one, but if I had the chance to get a Duo at like a good price, I might jump on it because I've always wanted the Rodecaster Duo. I also should not have gone through so many webcams. I probably spent close to $500 on webcams just to land on a professional mirrorless camera. The Sony ZV-E10 is an incredible camera. I love it so far. I am not in the middle of the frame in half of my videos, but that's more of a me problem. And I should have just bought one from the get-go or just bought a good webcam. Like, I'm going to be honest, I have learned to regret buying the ZV-E10 a little bit. I love the camera, but I don't make money from YouTube videos. This was an $800 camera. I could have instead bought like a really good Elgato face cam. I've heard great things about the face cam. They have the face cam 4K now that you can put like a lens filter on. So I should have just bought a really good face cam. I don't think that one was out when I made my first YouTube video, but that's besides the point. I could have bought a different camera like the Sony ZV-1F. I probably could have gotten that used for a really good price online. The Sony ZV-1F is very similar to the ZV-E10, but it doesn't have a removable lens. It is a point and shoot camera, so it has a zoomable lens that is in the camera, and it is designed for vlogging. So the ZV-1F is meant to be used for video. It is about $200 to $300 less than the ZV-E10, and you don't have to worry about messing with those lenses, which I just have a kit lens on. I do really love the ZV-E10. I've enjoyed it thus far, but like I said, I have some regrets with the ZV-E10. Even though it's an amazing camera, I could have saved some money on my camera. Something that I have seen a lot of, but not experienced, is people buying too nice of headphones for streaming and editing right off the bat. I use the Fifine H8 headphones for both. They're only about $35. And I love them for editing, and they sound good while gaming. I did swap my earpads for more comfort and style. This is what my current gaming ones look like. So they have this little smiley face on the side too, which I think is adorable. But this is my Fifine H8. And I love them. I love these earpads. They're very comfortable. They're really light as well, and they're fine for long sessions. They're pretty comfortable with this headband. It's really well cushioned. I might just be a Fifine fan, honestly. If it was up to me, I might switch this microphone back eventually to a Fifine microphone. I've been curious about like the AM8. I did really like the K688, although it does have more handling noise than this fella. But if they were to come out with a new XLR microphone or something, I might consider it, because I'm a huge Fifine fan. I used to have the gaming headset when I would game on my PlayStation, because I just really like Fifine's headphones. Audio Technica has some really affordable options. I've heard great things about that company, and I have heard good things about the AKG headphones. Although I wasn't a fan of the ones I used to own, I bought a pair to edit with, because I heard that the like open ear headphones would be really good. But they were just incredibly quiet, and I didn't want to use headphone boosters or anything, so I switched back to the Fifine H8. Sony has the MDR7506, which is really well known for mixing and mastering for a relatively affordable $100. Like the Fifines are a lot cheaper, but the MDR7506 are like industry standard for editing. You could use traditional gaming headphones for streaming, but I like using the same set for everything. So if I'm going to be editing with these guys, I'm also going to be streaming with these guys. That way I don't have to keep a lot of different pairs of headphones. I do have like 4 pairs of the Fifine H8 headphones. I have one for this computer. I have one for a computer that I edit podcast on. And then I have extra headphones. I always like to have extras of things just in case something breaks. and I love the Fifine H8 headphones. This video has been a lot of me talking about Fifine products. I just love the company. They do great things. I didn't love their interface as much, but their microphones have been pretty good, and I really like their headphones. If you're looking for like an affordable pair of headphones, I would recommend it. And like I said, you can get aftermarket earpads that are pretty affordable as well. Really nice, really well cushioned. There's the one bad thing about the Fifine H8 is the headphones are a little bit too thin. The earpads are a little bit too thin. So I have these earpads that I've bought, and then my Fifine headphones downstairs have like a soft earpad, like a fabric earpad that I really like as well. So these are just some mistakes that I've made, and then a mistake that I've seen, which is the headphones. A lot of people are buying like bare dynamic headphones with less than 100 subscribers. And I'm going to be honest, I considered it. I probably would have bought bare dynamic headphones if I wasn't worried about the open air audio bleeding into my microphone. Like, I think they're really cool headphones, but I have to continuously remind myself not to spend an insane amount of money on tech when I'm not making money from this. Like, this is more of a hobby for me right now. If you're interested in seeing some of the videos that I've made, you could check out my main channel, which is just Nat Blue. This is Nat Blue too. That's just Nat Blue. Where I talk a lot about like Dungeons and Dragons. That's my main content. Other than that, guys, I hope everybody is having an amazing day. And until next time, peace.